In the last couple of months there has been a lot of rumors about the release of a cheaper version of the Mini 3 Pro, at time referred to as Mini 3 Non-Pro or Mini 3 Classic. More or less a similar move to what DJI did recently with the Mavic 3 Classic. In the past week we have heard from well-established leakers that often signal that the new model should be released very soon. We have seen evidence that the new model has been approved by the FCC in the United States, with the name Mini 3 and with a new ID, which implies that the model has substantial differences from the Mini 3 Pro. We've also seen images of the new model, and even more, a well-established UK retailer, Drone Direct, has shown the new Mini 3 in its online catalogue with a retail price and all the specs for a couple of days before taking it down. It even states the delivery date as December the 9th. We should expect the new model to be released very soon, possibly before the end of the year. So the big questions are: what are the main features? How much will it cost? Where will it fit in the DJI prosumer line? From the specs we notice that there are a few functionalities missing compared to the Mini 3 Pro, which is obvious to justify a lower price, but strangely enough there are also a couple of noticeable improvements, and this is a surprise. From the leaked images we notice immediately the lack of frontal and backward sensors for obstacle detection. This is apparently the major limitation, and this is something we were expecting. But the lack of obstacle sensor might also rule out some functionalities like tracking and possibly all three intelligent flight modes of focus track: active track, spotlight and point of interest. And this would be a major limitation compared to the 3 Pro. Most likely master shot will also be ruled out, but this would not keep me awake at night. Regarding hyperlapses, I suppose that the modes waypoint, circle and course lock cannot be implemented properly without sensors, but it should be possible to use the free mode for very basic hyperlapses. And in fact, in the specs published by the UK retailer, the only feature mentioned are panorama and quick shots, basically the same as in the Mini 2. According to rumors, the 10-bit mode this in alike will not be available, and this is a big limitation. There are no real technical reasons, so it would be rather a marketing move to further differentiate the new model from the Pro. For the same reason, the so-called 48 megapixel mode for photos might not be supplied, but it is certainly not a deal breaker, as this mode is only marginally useful. In the images we also notice that the area around the gimbal is exactly the same, so we should expect to maintain the vertical orientation of the camera and the same sensor and lens as the Mini 3. And indeed the specs confirm that the camera can rotate to portrait mode, and the sensor is the same 1/1.3 inches with f1.7 aperture as in the Mini 3 Pro. Therefore, we should expect the same excellent photo and video quality, which is a quantum leap compared to the Mini 2. But as I said earlier, there are also some improvements compared to the Mini 3 Pro. First of all, the battery life is announced at 38 minutes, a noticeable increase compared to the 34 minutes of the Mini 3 Pro. From the data supplied to the FCC, we know that the battery is the same, so the longer life is probably due to the energy saved by the lack of obstacle sensors. A small negative of the Mini 3 Pro is the tendency to overheat. Here again the new Mini 3 should behave better, because of the energy saved by the lack of the obstacle avoidance system, and also because the forward sensors will be turned into cavity to collect air for cooling. From the images we also note that the new Mini 3 has legs at the end of the arms, while the Mini 3 Pro doesn't. In the Mini 2 the antennas are located in the legs for a more exposed position, while in the Mini 3 Pro they are inside the arms, closer to the fuselage, in a horizontal position, much more exposed to interference. Signal transmission is the single big issue of the Mini 3 Pro, a drone otherwise excellent in every department. The quality of the signal varies in different locations, and possibly also in different batches. In my case, the signal with the Mini 3 Pro is by far the worst of any DJI model. According to many users, the signal is better in the Mini 2, in spite of the older OcuSync 2.0. So by returning to the design of the arm and the location of the antennas similar to the one of the Mini 2, DJI seems to acknowledge a fault in the previous model. But what about the price? According to the online page of the UK retailer, the new Mini 3 with the Fly More combo and with the RC controller was announced at around £800, which is just below $1,000. The price of the Fly More kit is about $200, so the price of the Mini 3 with the RC controller would be about $800. But the Mini 2 is sold only with the traditional RC-N1 controller. The difference in price between the two controllers is an extra $150. Therefore, the price of the new Mini 3 with the RC-N1 should be around $650 versus $450 for the Mini 2 and $760 for the 3 Pro. But how would the new Mini 3 compare to the Mini 2? The Mini 2 was released in November 2020. It is much older than any other current DJI model. When it was released, the video quality was quite good for the price, while the photo quality was nothing to write home about. The technology has moved enormously since, and the entry model of the DJI line is in need of an update. The new Mini 3 would be miles and miles ahead in terms of video quality and even more photo quality. It has the capability of shooting video and photo in vertical format, which is a big selling point for users active on social media platforms. The announced battery life is 38 minutes versus 31 for the Mini 2. Even though the official specs for speed are similar, the Mini 3 feels much more powerful and has better wind resistance. The aerodynamic and the design of the gimbal area are superior, while the Mini 2 had often annoying jumps of the camera at the end of a move. Probably the Mini 3 will be sold with the same 3 option as the Mini 3 Pro, without a controller, with the traditional RC-N1 or with the excellent new RC controller. As you can see, the Mini 3 will be in a totally different league compared to the Mini 2. So the obvious question is, will the Mini 2 remain in the DJI line, or will it be replaced by the new model? Well, it depends on the price. If DJI decides to price the new Mini 3 at around $500, it would probably become the new entry model, replacing the Mini 2. Another possibility is to price it right in the middle of the two existing models, at around $600 to $650. In this case, the Mini 2 will remain as the entry model, maybe shaving something on the price. How will it compare to the Mini 3 Pro? The new model will lack obstacle sensors, intelligent flight modes, and possibly hyperlapse, the 10 bits color profile Disney-like, and 48 megapixel photo. On the other hand, it will have a slightly larger battery life, and possibly better signal transmission. I have noticed that users have often different opinions about obstacle sensors and intelligent flight modes. Some say that they don't care at all about them, while others think that they are extremely important. Personally, I use them both most of the time, and for me, obstacle avoidance and focus track are certainly worth the difference in price. This would make for a very interesting choice, so let me know in the comments which one would you choose and why. I made plenty of videos about the Mini 3 Pro covering all different aspects. You can watch them by clicking on this link to the playlist. And don't forget to hit the like button if you find this video interesting. Thank you.